Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Nick Alphanim. So we have more big news here. This is from cryptopolitan.com. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler outlines details of crypto regulation. So, oh goodness, let's read this little tidbit here. U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission head Gary Gensler has discussed the details of what the SEC can do once regulations are implemented, if they're ever going to actually do it. How long are they going to talk about this? Do something already. It says U.S. is close to finalizing the details of the crypto regulations as the U.S. Treasury has submitted the draft to President Biden. While SEC is the main watchdog, that's keyword watchdog, regarding securities, finance, and investments, its responsibilities will increase if they're actually going to do their job. Right? This is one of the main points I want to convey here. It doesn't matter if their responsibilities expand if they're not doing anything other than fining companies. Let's continue on here. It says, he said that their main focus would be the well-being of investors. My goodness. This is utter insanity at this point. The well-being of investors who you have allowed, not only are you damaging the XRP holders, right? But you have, because of a lack of regulatory clarity and regulations, you have allowed the rug pulls to damage the people. You have allowed the scam coins, Moms, Cheeps, Ibu Shinu, to to take the people's money. You allowed that. That happened on your watch. So Gary Gensler, Mr. Gensler, you have already taken a multitude of losses. You have already failed. Are you actually going to do something now? We're going to see. Look, I'm open to be proven wrong. I welcome fair regulations because that's going to make all of the bank coins explode. Let's continue on here. He said, it says, along with that, it will also protect exchanges. Really? Coinbase, what did Coinbase do wrong? Can you please tell me? Coinbase didn't do anything wrong. I mean, they're having their struggles right now. That's just because everyone fears all of the exchanges completely imploding. So, you know, they're having a little bit of a financial down point right now. But what did they do wrong when they were trying to offer everyone a disgustingly good? You see that bounce of the head? That means it was good. Annual percentage yield. And you stepped in and you were going to fine Coinbase. I don't know if you actually did or not. I believe you did, and they paid the fine probably. But then they had to step back from offering that APY on whatever it was they were offering it on. You damaged the people that were going to make money from that. Not only did you damage the people, there's a lot of people that are from the bottom trying to come up, and they were doing that because they had gotten into crypto. So they, as I said in one of the last videos, the people, you know, who are on the come up in life, I'm trying to think of a good way to say that, they were buying houses with crypto money, buying new cars with crypto money, buying their children, new cars and sending them to college off crypto money. They were making a disgusting amount of money off of crypto. Then you stepped in, right? They were going to make more is what I'm saying, because Coinbase has certain plans. A lot of exchanges did. And you stepped in and you start going after them. You went after everybody in sight. But the media kept it quiet. They didn't really talk about that, did they? No, they didn't. That's interesting too. And so Coinbase and a lot of other institutions stepped back. And now the people are in the state that they're in. They could have saved some of that money. So what I'm saying is you harmed so many investors. It's not even funny. How did you help anybody by stepping on Coinbase's toes like that? How did you help any investors? I would like to hear that argument made. Let's continue on here. The SEC has been facing issues due to some court cases. No, they're facing issues due to Ripple. Let's make that clear. Everyone else folded like a wet paper towel. They gave in, and they're allowing the SEC to continue their domination, their ability to terrorize all of crypto and the investors as well. That's exactly what they've been doing. So it's Ripple. Let's give them their credit, because everyone's going to benefit from this. While everybody else sat back, Ripple fought. Stellar was fighting also, you know, because Danelle Dixon was getting out there and she was speaking for crypto because they understand where this is going. The bank coins are going to be the last ones standing and they're going to explode. So let me also add, Algorand was in there also. Like, so those three, the royal three, were the ones fighting the whole time, going back and forth with the SEC, FinCEN, FAFTA. Don't forget FAFTA. Y'all, people forget about that. The stellar wars against FAFTA, right? Nobody talks about that anymore. So the royal three were battling. Give them their credit, because if any of the non-banking coins do survive, they owe the bank coin holders and the bank coin blockchains a lot of credit and glory, because they are the only ones that really fought, while everyone else sat back and took the easy road, hoping the bank coin blockchains and the bank coin holders took action. Why do I say the bank coin holders? Because, well, I mean, that's obvious when it comes to XRP, because the XRP holders have a whole lawsuit against the SEC. So they definitely are warriors. But also the other blockchains, Algorand, XLM, a lot of their money, a lot of the projects that they fund and how they move around the country and stuff comes from liquidation of XLM, liquidation of Algorand, stuff like that. And they use it for the different projects. So the XLM and Algorand holders and holders of these protocol, their money goes towards a lot of things. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm open to be corrected and learn, but that's what I have seen. I believe that's what I've seen. Right? They want to do a grant. They want to host a panel. They want to, fund this company because they're building on a blockchain. Guess what? They liquidate XLM. Here you go. Build something for us. Right? Correct? All right. So the holders are in there. They've been in the fight. Crypto regulations across the globe. Here we go again. I was just saying in the members only video I'm about to release that I told you the Bank of International Settlements has been making its weight felt. Also, like I said, read those documents that I've been posting in the members only section. Go to that community tab, scroll down. You want to know factually. You don't have to just listen to what someone's telling you, not even myself. You should know for yourself. Read the documents. So that way, when you go in the comment sections, I see so many trolls and bots. I don't know where these people are coming from telling you that certain things are not true when we have factual PDFs, transcripts, presentations. Not just myself. There's a lot of my peers doing a great job at iterating this. And they're giving people one last chance to make decisions for themselves, while the others are trying to rob you of your choice. So anyway, BIS is trying to push global regulations. When they start talking about it a few months ago, look how fast everyone start moving, because the Bank of International Settlements is the bank of all banks. And they were patient with Europe. They were patient with the United States. So now they started to throw their weight around. Look how fast Europe came out with certain regulations. They have their entry-level regulations. There will be more. Now look at the United States beginning to move. Are you putting it all together? The Bank of International Settlements is only going to grow more frustrated, and they're going to throw more of their weight behind what they want to be or want to manifest as actions. So we're going to see even more developments around the world. That's just how it goes. And I'm glad they're doing it, because if they don't crack the whip, then these countries are not going to move. These other little banks are not going to make a move. But let's continue on here. It says, the U.S. remained reluctant to finalize the draft. Reluctant? Why? Do you see that? That is so strange. Why would they remain reluctant? They don't want this new class of billionaire and millionaire coming. They don't, because they know that you got into crypto probably because you like your financial freedom. And also, they know that you're tough coming from the bottom. They know that you're tough. And tough people are not easy to control. You're not comfortable just yet. You have fire in your belly that motivated you to get into crypto, which means you're a fighter. They don't want to deal with fighters. They want to deal with people that have been softened up. They're comfortable. They listen. They obey. I will do what you say long as my money is coming, right? You don't behave in that way. So they don't want the new 1%. They don't want the new wealthy or rich because you might be a problem for them. You're not just going to accept what they tell you to do. You're going to do what you want to do. And you might even make changes like Neo in the Matrix. You might make a few changes, right? They don't want that. So this is why they're reluctant. One of the reasons, in my humble opinion, U.S. remained reluctant to finalize the draft for crypto regulations soon after the executive order. The U.S. Treasury began to work on preparation of a draft for this purpose. It didn't take much time and was submitted recently, which is under review. Remember, I told you it would be easy to come up with crypto regulations. I just said that in the last video, I believe. And look, they said it didn't take much time. I told you it doesn't take long to come up with crypto regulations. It didn't take much time and was submitted recently. It's easy. This is easy. However, there is a good part to this because it seems that the CFTC might be playing a big role when it comes to the coins and tokens. The problem is the SEC is saying that they want to go after exchanges that are already having problems, exchanges that have been above board. Here it is. Here it says here. It says the SEC is mandated to cover tokens, stable coins, and unstable coins. Oh, okay. I guess that's supposed to be clever. So they will also have the authority to talk to to banking regulators and CFTC. He wants to reiterate, Bitcoin is not a security, while CFTC will decide about the rest of the tokens. All right, so CFTC is going to play a big part. That, I believe, is a good thing. It's a double-edged sword. I want the CFTC involved in, deciding that all the rest of crypto are actually currencies, right? A new digital asset class that requires special regulations, but they are currencies, right? They are commodities. And take it out of the hands of the SEC, who may have lost their marbles. So I would prefer that. We'll see what happens, so at least it's sounding good as of right now. They also know, let's go back to that reluctance thing. They also know that if they issue crypto regulations right now, crypto will explode. It will untether from the stock market. It will explode because so much money has been waiting on the side because crypto is not a regulated place, right? And when regulations come through, boom, the rocket might take off. We'll see. But it opens the opportunity and the possibility of that. So many new things might happen. Once there are regulations, they fear that. Do you know how many of the holders of crypto, once they have that extra, those extra riches, do you know how many of them will begin lobbying? It will change everything. Do you know how many of them will begin to fund programs in the universities so that, crypto can grow and people can actually know to use this technology that would benefit their small businesses, benefit their lives? People would be doing that en masse. The regulation of crypto and the taking off of the bank coins, the generational wealth, the floods and tsunamis of money that stand to come over time will change everything. And they don't want that just yet. So they're trying to hold it off. We'll see how much longer they can. It looks like they're starting to buckle under the pressure. Good. The rest of crypto and Bank of International Settlements seems we're all on the same side for now. We want this to come to pass, and I believe that is going to be coming very soon. But we'll keep our eyes open and we'll try to stay privy of these different situations. And I'm not friends with the Bank of International Settlements. I just want to take their money. So while they're on our side, so be it. Then I'm cheering for them while they're on our side. They're going to bring that money. All right, let's move on here to another article. All right, so this one here is from beingcrypto.com, right? It says Australian central bank governor prefers privately issued tokens over CBDC. So this is something I talked about, briefly talked about in the members only video that I'm about to release. So what they're talking about is stablecoins being utilized instead of CBDCs, because as the Bank of International Settlements has iterated in a multitude of their documents, stablecoins are just like a light version of CBDCs. And remember, before they were talking about how they could conscript stablecoins, they could bring them in. You know, the banks could use stablecoins, and I'm sure you could build certain mechanisms into stablecoin offerings that accommodate the banks and the banking system in the way that they want and need. As far as like, if we take what the model of the Bank of International Settlements put out there, where they could detach your name and your address from the information that they would require, because they use that information for loans, they use that information for a lot of different things to know where capital flows are going, and then also under the guise of let's make sure there's not illicit activities. So they're going to require to at least know where the money is going, stuff like that. But they propose to detach your name and your address, stuff like that, from the information so you can maintain your anonymity and it could still sort of be treated like digital cash. So they're still working out the details, but this is what they're talking about. So Australia is getting on board with that idea of like, hey, we might just be able to use some stable coins. We'll see if they actually go that way. I don't think that they will, because there's so much pressure from the Bank of International Settlements, the IMF and the ECB to like saying, hey, get ready for CBDCs. We want to control everything. And, you know, stable coins, we have to put in a little extra work. They may not want to do that. They may not want to do that. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. It says the Hong Kong Monetary Authority chief who joined Low on a panel at the G20 event said that regulating these private tokens is critical in addressing the risk posed by decentral finance. Oh, more FUD of this nonsense. But it's unfortunately something we're going to have to deal with. They can't stop DeFi, but they've been looking for a way to take over DeFi. So, hey, listen, keep your eyes open into the future for certain catalysts and things of that nature, and the actions of these central banks when it comes to decentralized finance, because they understand that the people that control the liquidity pools, yeah, it becomes a little bit centralized, right? This is in their words. This is what they're saying, right? So just keep that in mind. It says, a recent Bank for International Settlement survey revealed that 90% of central banks globally were on the path to a central bank issued digital currency. Yes, because they're pushing everyone for it. Regulators wary about stablecoins. Which ones? You know, we're talking about algorithmic stablecoins. Why did you believe in them in the first place? No, everybody that I know uses one-to-one backed stablecoins, USDC, you know. You could also use ones that are pegged to gold or something like that. You have these different offerings out there that seem pretty stable, right? So you have those also, but algorithmic, come on, it's over for them. It's done. So yes, this is another reason why it's pie on their face that they did not enact regulations. SEC, everyone, you allowed that to happen. You allowed these things to happen. You central banks, because you have you influence regulations. You issue regulations to a great degree. You influence the governments and such like that. So all of you failed. It's on you. Take responsibility, right? If you're going to call out everyone else, at least acknowledge what you did wrong. You're not going to do that anyway. I take that as a sign of cowardice and ignorance also, because a wise person learns from both their successes and their failures. Failures you learn even more from, because now at least you know what not to do that time. You can avoid it the next time, and thus you become better and stronger. So the acknowledgement, you can only learn from a failure if you acknowledge that it was indeed a failure, and you're not, you don't have this fear of examination of what went wrong. Because if you don't have that fear in the examination of what went wrong, then you can extract from that experience what went right and how to avoid the mistakes you made before. But see, this is why their monetary policy is not getting better. They never want to admit that they did wrong. They're not going to come out to the public with it. That is weakness incarnate. The strong are not afraid to take a loss. Not. We all have taken losses. And I'm not talking about in crypto. I mean, in life, it doesn't matter what it was. In a game of chess, you took a loss. On the wrestling mat, you took a loss. Jiu-jitsu, MMA, boxing, we all take losses. It doesn't matter if it's official or not. But you learn from it. And you learn to go with the flow, that there's a balance to life. That really there is no winning or losing. There's only forward motion, and those who have the willpower inside here and here to move forward. So yeah, so you're in the gym, maybe you're lifting today and you couldn't lift You couldn't lift that certain amount you're trying to max out on. That's okay. So you take some protein, right? You take some extra protein, some nitric oxide or whatever you call that stuff, some creatine, whatever it is, if you're into that kind of stuff, and you lift a little bit harder. You lift a little bit harder. You do what you have to do. But the point is the acknowledgement that, hey, I couldn't get it, and not just delusionally saying to yourself, no, I'm still as strong as I could possibly be. No, you look at what you did wrong, you try to improve on it, and it doesn't even matter if the next time you actually get up that weight or not. Use this as a metaphor for life, obviously. That's what I'm trying to do here. But it doesn't matter if you accomplish it or not, but it mattered greatly that you had the will and you had the heart to actually try to accomplish that thing. That you actually tried to climb the mountain. I used to do a lot of bouldering and rock climbing, right? I went from V0, V1, V3, V4. I started feeling myself, as the kids say these days. I started feeling real confident. I'm like, well, I'm going to try a V7, V8. You know how difficult that is? And I didn't do it, but I gave it my best shot. I'm clinging on to those rocks. I was shredded at that time. Oh, man, I was in the best shape of my life. And that's saying something because I come from a combat background. But rock climbing will get you into great shape. Has to, right? You gotta tense those muscles. You don't want to fall. You don't want to fall. Oh, man. So anyway, yeah, it matters in here and in here that you have the willpower, the heart, and the ambition to actually attempt climbing the mountain. And that aids in your mental development and the development of your heart, your strength, the internal strength. That's important. They don't seem to have that, unfortunately. All right, so we have that. Let's move on here. So this is from Algorand. We got a little Algorand here. This is on Algorand.foundation from their website. All right. Eureka introduces leading technology to democratize access to carbon credits. Now, I want to throw something out there about this, these carbon credits, carbon tracking, getting in bed with the banks and the governments. That's what Algorand is doing. There's going to be money coming out of this. I mean, not just the money that, they're going to have to use in transaction fees and stuff like that to, well, I'm just going to jump into it. They're going to be moving a lot of fine money across these blockchains because of something like this. You think that they're just doing it because they're just, it's twofold. It's not just because they want to be heroes and they want to be nice. There's money to be made here. So, I'm pretty sure in a lot of areas already they're doing like carbon tax. You use too much carbon, you're gonna get fined or taxed or whatever, however they want to phrase it. But there's going to be money coming across those blockchains, those wallets that they use for tracking these carbon credits. And some of those fines, especially when it comes to, let's say, farmers. You see how they're doing a protest around the world? They're telling the farmers, hey, you're producing too much nitric oxide? Something like that. There's a chemical that they're producing that they're very angry with the farmers at, which caused the farmers to go on strike, and hopefully those farmers get back to their jobs, or it's going to be a problem. All right? But they should treat the farmers better than that and work with them. Come to a middle ground. Why is all this stuff so extreme? But anyway, I'm pretty sure as they're tracking these chemicals and carbons things, they're going to be tracking much more to carbon. This is just where they're beginning. Fines will be sent through those same networks. Why would you separate the information and the data from the money? You wouldn't do that. It will all go together. So you'd be able to issue a fine over the network, theoretically speaking, and then they would also make the payment through that same portal, right? The portal that they use for traceability and tracking, which is what Algorand is doing here. It's also what VeChain is doing also. So yeah, so there's going to be a lot of money coming out of here, in my humble opinion. Let's just read this little tidbit here. As it says, the technology consisting of three components: tamper-proof smart meter. So like I said, they're going to be measuring. Tamper-proof smart meter. Deep learning-based artificial intelligence. I told you last year, didn't I say this? Look at Ripple. Earlier this year was talking about implementing artificial intelligence on the XRP, I believe it was Ripple. Now you have Algorand here. They're talking about artificial intelligence. I said last year they're going to be heavily combining artificial intelligence with distributed ledger technologies. Early last year I said that. I also said, and we'll see if this comes to pass, they're going to be combining DLTs with AI with quantum computing. because at the same time that WorldWire was being developed way back when, you know, and IBM was working with XLM, Stellar Protocol, and they were also working with HBAR, Hedera, don't forget that. That at the same time, they were working extremely hard on their quantum computing, which is insane right now. I see all of that congealing together, and I could be wrong. But here you have it. The advent of artificial intelligence verification systems and blockchain-based trading platform. They say it was designed and built in-house in collaboration with the Mongolian University of Science and Technology. The three components have been successfully tested through a pilot conducted at the end of last year. So they already tested it and everything like that. So as I said before, you only have a meter if something needs to be monitored how can I phrase that? I'm trying not to lose my words here. So many thoughts I have. For a punishment. That's the best way I can put it. You want to monitor what someone's doing so that you know if they step out of line, because then a punishment has to be issued. And punishments have been issued how as of now? Fines. That means more money is going to be moving across these blockchains. You know, the bank coins, that is, bank coins, who are monitoring carbon credits, and they're claiming how green they are, carbon negative, and they know that. They're just not talking about it. Shh, they keep it quiet. So even more money is going to be moving across these particular bank coins that are dominating already. Hey, listen, you want to check out that members only video that I'm about to put out, because we go over some things in there. Another reason why they are going to explode. And not everyone needs to see it. You know, I also say this quite often. Even if people sold all of their bank coins, it wouldn't make a difference. It won't make a dent. And I say that because there's so many people in comment sections, and I go and I watch a lot of other people's videos at times when I'm relaxing, and they are getting castigated in their comment sections. For some reason, people feel like these content creators are trying to convince them to buy Quant, XLM, XRP, Hedera. What? I don't know why you would be trying to convince people. Like some of these individuals are they're humble researchers. We're all researchers to different degrees. And so they're just trying to share good information for those that may want to hear it. They probably were giving people updates before they even had a channel. That's what I was doing. I just like to share information because I like to learn, right? So I don't take it as they're trying to convince anybody of anything, because that's not what it sounds like to me. But people, they're very sensitive. And so I like to always say that it doesn't make a difference whether retail buys these or not at all. So if you don't want to buy them, don't buy them. These are bank coins. They're made for banks, large business institutions, and they're all in bed with the governments and banks. When they step in, the price will move. And this is why I also hear these complaints a lot. I see them a lot in other people's comment sections. Where they're like, well, there was a high volume and the price didn't move. The banks didn't step in yet. Banks didn't step in yet. The governments didn't step in yet. You know, it's also like a form of delusion. They don't like that aspect that money is going to come from central banks and governments, even though your fiat, your fiat is central bank issued. You're still using dollars and euros. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, this is what makes the world move right now. Even if you're taking that value and putting it into crypto, that's where the value came from. But they pretend to have this big issue with the bank coins because they're centralized. Centralization. All of that value that's in Bitcoin right now came from that centralization. It came from that fiat that people earned at their jobs, that is cash that is issued by the Fed. The euros issued by their central banks, ECB. Right? So, I mean, I just see that as something that it's not a relevant argument in my humble opinion, but it doesn't make a difference whether you buy XLM, XRP, Quant. Don't. Make no difference. And the people that stay in there and they're hanging in there, I believe they're going to see a disgusting return on investment. But over here on this side, it's not about convincing anybody. It's not. We're a community that just shares good information. Like, I learned so much from my subscribers and the members only section. These are great individuals, update me all the time. We share information. We're not here to brainwash each other. No, we're a group. Over in the Bankcoin families, we're a group of free thinkers. So anyway, I just wanted to make that comment on that. But let's continue on here. So this is a little bit on XDC. So XDC has been doing a great job, Zenfin. Let's go here. This is a tweet from XDC Ritesh Kakad, right? It says, at Store Network is a, wait, sorry, I skipped a tweet. My apologies, my humble apologies. XDC Network is growing with the increase in utilities and projects built on XDC Network. Listen, that trade finance is enough. The fact that they were meeting with governments, and that indicates to me there's only going to be more governmental and central bank meetings for the XDC. Also paired with the article that we cover from the World Economic Forum. Once the World Economic Forum wrote an entire article on XDC and trade finance, that sealed the deal. They are in there. They're in the door. Their price is going to explode. That's how I feel. But all of the projects that we're about to go over are just bonus. Just bonus. Let's continue on here. It says, let's look at the projects one by one in no particular order. Okay, let's do that, sir. Appreciate your work, sir. Store Network is a decentralized cloud storage network that empowers users to store their data securely on a decentralized storage network. Travala.com or Travala.com is the most epic cryptocurrency-friendly travel booking service with 2.2 million properties. That's a lot of money, and I hope all of it is going to be moving across XDC, right? XL Trip is a cryptocurrency-friendly travel booking service with 1.5 plus million hotels and 400 plus airline companies globally. That's massive. So you see these projects that XDC are involved in, they're massive, unbelievable projects. Like these, there's a lot of brilliant minds behind XDC. And so when you have something like that, strong minds behind a project, I expect them to excel. I expect them to do well. Comtech official is redefining the tokenization infrastructure by digitizing gold. We were talking about gold a lot in the members only section because it may come in handy, especially as the housing market is going down. Supply is up. Demand is down. Sellers of homes have to make many concessions right now to move that value. So I follow a lot of real estate channels and experts, you know, and I've been hearing this, I'm seeing their videos. So, but anyway, because of that, I say that because a lot of people like to, in the past, they like to protect their money by making it illiquid in, you know, polarizing it in the, in real estate and such like that. But right now it doesn't seem like that's safe, but do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. But what I'm saying is be careful, be cautious. We want to make money, not lose money. But because of that, I was also talking about gold, because even though gold does have its instability, all right, some people make it seem like gold doesn't have its fluctuations, just like the central banks and governments make it seem like their fiat is not fluctuating in value and there's not losses taken. You know, when people are trading fiat currencies, they definitely are. And fiats are in trouble, majorly in trouble. But so anyway, we were talking about gold. You can buy gold in at a low. Make sure you have your gold charts. But gold is going to be major moving into the future. Major. So this is a good thing that they have this going on. So one more time, Comtech official is redefining the tokenization infrastructure by digitizing gold using blockchain that allows both institutional and retail communities to access gold electronically anywhere across the globe. So there you have it. So now you have if you didn't like the other gold offerings out there, now you have Comtech official on Zenfin. That will offer you gold if you want to use that as, you know, protection of your value. Go Plugin, a decentralized Oracle platform, provides cost-effective solutions for any smart contract on the XDC ecosystem. Also provide a powerful data oracle for decentralized weather data. I think we covered that recently. Or maybe it was another one. There's so many blockchains doing great things. I believe VeChain is also involved in something like that. So at Law Blocks Token. I said Blocks Token. What's going on with me here? At Law Blocks Token is a user-friendly, decentralized, legal document storage platform built on XDC. So XDC is in a lot of major industries. As you can tell, it's well respected. I mean, like I said, they had a World Economic Forum article, an entire article about them written. So I expect them to do major things. At 2 cents, it's a steal. And people are fortunate to be able to grab some of it while it's still available. I think with regulatory clarity, given time and more infrastructure building, more partnerships being made, all of this takes time. Whether people like it or not makes no difference. It doesn't change the truth. It takes time to set these different things up. And XDC, I believe, is still a young blockchain, isn't it? I believe these prices will explode, in my humble opinion. There's only a small group of bank coins. Like there's a small group of crypto I believe are going to survive. No, Algorand and Thrive, by the way, Algorand, XRP, XLM, HBAR. I believe Cello is in there. I want to see a little bit more activity out of Cello. Okay, but they're in there. They have their CBDC white paper and such like that. We'll see what they do. They're working with stable coins. They're sort of following in the footsteps of Stellar. Who else? VeChain is in there as a utility coin. In my humble opinion, they've been doing massively great job, and people hold a ton of VeChain. Doesn't take a whole lot now for people to be very wealthy off of VeChain. This I didn't include Quant in months prior, as I was watching Quant quietly and watching with a very close eye. But once I uncovered that SIA Partners and SIA Chain documents, they're in the Bankcoin family now, as far as I'm concerned. If you have access to over 500 banks, why would they not use Quant as overledger to? And they have overledger for XRP and XDC. No, Quant is in they're in the car. I'm opening the door. Quant, get in the car. So Quant is in there also, right? So there's just a small amount, but I think they're all safe. Like, you know, I think they're all very, very safe holds, long holds, and going to make people see a healthy return on investment. And it doesn't make a difference, once again, whether retail buys or not. Makes no difference. But the retail that does have these particular holdings, I think they're going to be in a very, very elite class of riches and wealth. And whatever you have, whatever you decide for yourself, I think that's best for you. That's how I feel. So if you have a little, I think that's good. And if you have a lot, I think that's good. You have more than zero, I think you're doing pretty good, in my humble opinion. That's how I feel. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.